Assalamualaikum and a very good day. Today, my group is going to present to you all about Seveso disaster. I am Azim and I'll be presenting how the incident happened. Okay, as we can see at the slide right now, is the map of Meda. It happened on 12:37 p.m. at night on Saturday on the 10th July 1976. It happens when a chemical reactor exploded at the ICMESA plant located in Meda. Meda is a district near Seveso, Italy, 25 km north of Milan. Okay, in the ICMESA plant, it produced 2,4,5-trichlorphenol. 2,4,5-trichlorphenol is widely used in cosmetic and pharmaceutical industries. And for your information, this thing also being called as TCDD or dioxin. Okay, to narrate the incident happened. Okay, after a batch operation, the operation was stopped wrongly. Then, resulting of the operation stopped wrongly, the temperature rose, and then it damaged the disc. So, after the batch operation, they will do another batch operation, and they operate on a ruptured disc. So, a ruptured disc was operated on the next batch operation. Resulting of that, it released an aerosol cloud of TCDD or 2,4,5-trichlorphenol over an 18 km area around the plant, also including Meda and Seveso. Resulting of the release of the aerosol cloud, it causes nausea, headache, eye irritation, and skin lesion. Due to from a report from the Seveso incident, it was reported of 222,000 people were injured, and they also suffering from sequelae. For your information, sequelae is a condition happen when condition of people after a short-term disease, but have a long-term injury on them.
Okay, next I will presenting about the sequences during the event. So the first day that the batch reaction started on the 4 p.m. 9 July 1976. So on the second day, about 4:45 a.m. on 10 July 1976. The reaction finished the distillation to ensure the reaction stopped and the heating was stopped. So on the 5 a.m. An agitator of the reactor was stopped and the pressure was returned to atmospheric pressure. But the thing is, the operator left the plant. So the operator neglect this direction and he stopped the pressure at the 158 degrees Celsius. So the set temperature is about the 50%, but the operator stopped the reaction at 158 degrees Celsius. So this event triggered the major disaster. So on 12:37 p.m. a ruptured disc of the reactor operated and the contents started diffusion. So this event caused a big incident. So after the leakage, the factory manager gave a warning not to eat the product of a kitchen garden because the poison started to spread around the plant site. So on the 15th July, the existing or the existence of dioxin was confirmed in a lab of the parent company, but the thing is, the local government was not informed, so they didn't know about this incident. So this we can know that the communication a bit, what we call it, the lack of communication or a delay in communication. So on the 20th July, the existence of high density dioxin was confirmed again, and the local government was informed at this time. And then the last day, on 24 July, the local government informed inhabitants of the area of the pollution and about the enforced evacuation.
Next, I'm going to present on the few possible causes as to why did the Seveso disaster happen. We have studied and associated about the disaster, and we have found 6 possible causes that may lead to the Seveso disaster. The first cause is a mistake in the design of the utilities in the factory. There was no steam temperature reading that was available due to this future unavailability. Among the instruments, the operators was aware of the presence of an additional heating where the exhaust steam with a high temperature of 300 Celsius proceeded to hit the metal wall of the accident reactor. This unawareness led to the wrong procedure, which then caused the overproduction of TCDD, a hazardous chemical. Moving on, as explained before, the operators were made unaware of the additional heating happening in the accident reactor, which also means they have no correct knowledge on the runaway reaction of the reactor and the generation of dioxin TCDD. Due to this, the administrative authorities were not informed at all until the high density of dioxin was reconfirmed until the damage spread, resulting into a lot of casualties, especially among the community. Besides that, the negligence of the operators towards the direction is one of the reasons why this disaster happened. In this operation manual, it was instructed that the distillation should be halted after 50% recovery of ethylene glycol solvent. Water is injected and then it was cooled to the temperature of 50 to 60 Celsius. However, the operators do not do as what was instructed in the manual and neglected the direction. Thus, these events triggered the major disaster.
So moving on, next, one of the reasons that caused the Seveso disaster is the delay in communication. In the laboratory, the existence of dioxin was confirmed after 5 days. However, the government was not informed immediately. So after 5 more days, the existence of dioxin was reconfirmed in the same laboratory, and the government was only then informed about it. Due to this delay in communication, the surrounding inhabitants or community were more exposed to the dioxin, and the damage spread due to delayed actions taken by the government to curb the problem has led to the occurrence of the disaster. Besides that, the late evacuation of the surrounding inhabitants and community is one of the reasons why this disaster happened. After the incident, ICMESA refused to admit the over-generation and the occurrence of the dioxin release. At least 1 week passed until ICMESA finally issued a public notice on the dioxin release, admitting to it. Another week passed before the evacuation process began. If the evacuation process took place earlier and sooner, casualties could have been avoided and prevented, and the dangerous chemical dioxin would have not spread so wide, affecting the community. Thus, the disaster could have not happened, at least not towards the community. Lastly, the weak and poor poor safety systems of the factory may be one of the reasons as to why the disaster occurred. It was recognized that the factory safety systems had been designed with little more than simple explosion prevention in mind. Environmental protection had not been considered at all, nor had any consideration been given to set up any types of warning system or protection protocols for the local community. So as a result, the local community was unaware and oblivious when the accident happened, and thus was unprepared to cope with the danger of the exposure of the toxic chemical dioxin. So that is all. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum. My name is Muhammad Azinuddin, and I will talk about the Code of Management practices that relate to the Seveso disaster. Okay, the first is the Pollution Prevention Code November 97. As we have known that the Pollution Prevention Code is to achieve the ongoing reduction in the amount of all pollutants released in the environment because of lack of the safety procedure and the equipment that lacking safety equipment causing the dioxin gas released into the atmosphere. The engineer that shut down the process also was lack of awareness causing the removal of ethylene glycol from the reaction mixture by distillation. Okay, from this due to the confirmation with Italian law requiring shutdown of the plant back in the days, like the operation over the weekend, causing the mixture to heat up and the release contamination gas. Okay, the second is the Community Awareness and Emergency Response Code. Okay, this code is the chemical plant have to work with the neighboring communities to understand their solicitudes and the plan and prepare for the emergency if something happen. Also, the community have to know that the chemical that were used in the plant, which is 1,2,4,5 tetrachlorobenzene, can turn into the poisonous chemical, which is 2,3,7,8 tetrachlorodibenzoyl P-dioxin. So that is acute toxin and environmental hazard. This chemical have causing the 20,000 of them of people live in Seveso to move, and the 70,000 animal have to be killed to stop the dioxin from getting into the food chain. Okay, so the last that code management relate to the Seveso disaster is the Process Safety Code May 19, 1990. Okay, back in the day, Italy has the law which is the requiring the shutdown plant operation over the weekend, and that the main reason why the Seveso disaster happened, because the chemical plant in the Seveso have to follow this rule, but also the ICMESA should have the proper shutdown process, such as clear the solution inside the reactor before the shutdown. Okay, the process was shut down without a proper safety checkup, causing the dioxin gas to release into the atmosphere.
We can see that disaster happened at the Seveso, affected many living things, and some of the living things died because of the disaster. So what we can do to avoid the disaster from happening again is, first, we can redesign the reactor, because the reactor during that time had some weakness that make the unpleasant chemical release to the surrounding. So we need to redesign the reactor to make sure that a proper containment system is good and to avoid any unwanted chemical release again. The second is improvement on emergency response, because during that time nobody know what happened at the plant until they smell something unpleasant, and when they smell that some of the living things died because affected of the chemical. So when improve on the emergency response, the people surrounding can prepare to go far away from the plant if any disaster happen again. And the last point is, this plant must notify local authorities and communities about the nature of their facilities and to construct and publicize measures to prevent and respond to any future accidents that could occur. So that's all from us. Thank you.